Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you are learning C++, you've probably heard about arrays and strings. These are two of the most fundamental concepts in programming, and mastering them is essential for writing efficient and organized programs. In this video, we'll learn what arrays and strings are, why they are important, how they work, and where they are used in real-world programming. By the end of this lesson, you'll have a solid understanding of both topics and be ready to use them in your own C++ programs. Let's get started. Imagine you're building a program to store the marks of 5 students. One way is to create 5 separate variables. While this works for a small number of values, imagine storing the marks of 1,000 students. Creating 1,000 variables would be inefficient and difficult to manage. This is exactly where arrays become useful. An array is a collection of elements of the same data type stored in consecutive memory locations. Instead of creating many variables, you can store multiple values inside a single array. Every element in an array has an index, and indexing always starts from 0 in C++. That means the first element is at index 0, the second element is at index 1, and so on. For example, if an array stores the numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, the value 10 is stored at index 0, while 50 is stored at index 4. Accessing any value is quick because you simply use its index. Arrays make programs cleaner, faster, and easier to understand. They are commonly used to store marks, salaries, temperatures, prices, sensor readings, and many other collections of similar data. Now, let's talk about creating an array. When declaring an array, you specify its data type, its name, and the number of elements it can hold. After creating the array, you can assign values to each position or initialize all values at once. Once the array is filled, you can access or modify any element by referring to its index. One of the greatest advantages of arrays is that they work perfectly with loops. Instead of writing code repeatedly for every element, a loop can process the entire array automatically. Whether you want to display all values, calculate their sum, find the largest number, or search for a particular value, loops make these operations simple and efficient. Now, let's move on to strings. A string is simply a sequence of characters used to store text. Whenever you work with names, messages, passwords, email addresses, or sentences, you're working with strings. Think of an array as a container that stores many numbers, while a string is a special container designed specifically for text. For example, if your program asks the user to enter their name, storing that name requires a string. Unlike individual characters, strings allow you to work with complete words and sentences. In modern C++, the string data type is provided by the standard library. It makes working with text much easier than older character arrays because it provides many built-in functions. Let's look at some common string operations. You can calculate the length of a string to determine how many characters it contains. You can combine two strings together, which is known as concatenation. You can compare two strings to check if they are equal. You can access individual characters using indexes, just like arrays. You can also search for words inside a string or extract specific parts of it. These operations are used in almost every software application, from websites and mobile apps to banking systems and games. Now, you may be wondering, what is the relationship between arrays and strings? The answer is simple. A string is actually a sequence of characters arranged one after another. In other words, you can think of a string as a specialized form of an array that stores characters. The main difference is that the C++ string class provides many built-in features, making it much easier to manipulate text. Let's compare arrays and strings. Arrays store elements of the same data type, such as integers, floating point numbers, or characters. Strings, on the other hand, are specifically designed to store textual data. Arrays require you to manage elements manually, while strings provide built-in functions that simplify common tasks like finding the length or joining text. Understanding this difference helps you decide which data structure to use in different situations. Now, let's discuss some real-world applications. Arrays are used in student management systems to store marks, in weather applications to record daily temperatures, in games to manage player scores, and in scientific software to process large collections of numerical data. Strings are everywhere. They are used for usernames, passwords, chat messages, search boxes, email addresses, product names, and almost every piece of text you see in software applications. When arrays and strings are combined, they become even more powerful. For example, a school management system may use arrays to store student marks and strings to store student names. Together, they allow the program to organize and process information efficiently. Before we finish, here are a few important tips. Always remember that array indexing starts from 0. Accessing an invalid index can cause unexpected errors. Choose an array when storing multiple values of the same type, and choose a string whenever you're working with text. Practice using loops with arrays because they are almost always used together. Finally, become familiar with the built-in string functions, as they will save you a lot of time when writing programs. Let's quickly summarize today's lesson. An array is a collection of elements of the same data type stored in contiguous memory locations. Arrays help us organize and process large amounts of similar data efficiently. A string is a sequence of characters used to store text. Modern C++ strings provide many useful functions that make working with textual data simple and convenient. Arrays and strings are among the most important building blocks of C++ programming. Once you master them, you'll be ready to learn more advanced topics such as searching, sorting, vectors, pointers, and data structures. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you understand arrays and strings in C++. If you found it useful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone learning programming. Also, let me know in the comments what C++ topic you'd like to learn next. See you in the next video, and until then, keep practicing and keep coding.